What is up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wade here from Elevate to the Unknown and BLKHeights.com. And guys, it is Monday morning, September the 21st, 7 a.m. Central, and it's Labor Day. But guess what, guys? We are still climbing. And y'all, I know most of you people and most of the people around the world, well, at least in the United States, are taking the day off. But here's what winners do. Winners work while others are resting. And I got some explosive intelligence about what happened while everyone was at barbecues and watching college football this weekend. So let me give you an update. Nike, they just announced layoffs, even though they are posting billions of dollars in revenues and their profits are still up. Kroger, they eliminated nearly 1,000 corporate positions while opening new stores. And over 2,000 workers got warn notices filed on Friday before the long weekend. Because here's the thing that companies like to do. They love to bury the bad news during the holiday weekends because most people are distracted. But I found the news, guys, and I'm here to bring it to you this morning. But here's the twist also. The same companies laying off people are paying AI specialists $564,000 a year. TikTok, your favorite app that many of you like to use, they reviewed that they are paying search product managers over $500,000, while economists are warning about the stall speed of unemployment. So 2 tech workers, one that we talked about last week, same economic conditions. One positioned themselves strategically and moved from Amazon to Meta for $400,000 a year. One got laid off and panicked and ended up living back with his parents. Now he's making $43,000 a year at an Ohio bank. So I got fresh data showing 267,000 new software developer jobs and the exact salaries that companies are going to pay them, and they're going to pay them right now. And I also have other jobs and other careers that you should be looking at exploring if you are looking to make a move, provided by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So guys, let me know who's all in the chat. Drop your city in the chat, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well, because we do the Daily Climb Show Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central to 8 a.m. Central. We're going to talk about it this morning. I'm bringing you guys the latest and greatest. We got Lakshmi in the house. We got Jason in the house. We have NC Realtor in the house, guys. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Good to see you guys on this beautiful Monday, on this holiday Monday. We're going to get you in and out of this show today. But more importantly, we're going to equip you so that you can have a good start to your week when you get back to work. If you aren't working today, tomorrow. So guys, let's jump into it right away. You guys remember my man here. You guys don't remember him probably, but let me give you a quick update on my man. This is a good person that we talked about last week. His name is Arun. He moved from Amazon to Meta. Young age, graduated college. You know, he was the one that we talked about who had only 1 year of doing his bachelor studies because of he did a lot of college credits. Then he went and got his master's, and then he started working for Amazon. And he worked for Amazon for about 9 months. Saw that he really wanted to do work around AI and machine learning. And then he moved over to Meta. And Meta is paying him $400,000 a year. That's my man here. Okay. Now, let's talk about another story that I came across that I want you guys to understand, this is Trevor. Trevor Goobhart, 37 years old, young gentleman, right? Worked in tech for 15 years, building customer experience systems. Had a job at a AI startup in Los Angeles, making decent money. Los Angeles is making over $100,000 a year. Lived in a 1-bedroom apartment because that's all he can afford. But he was taking care of his dog, living the California dream. Sunny weather, beautiful evenings, beautiful days, a whole bunch of events, expensive, but he's living the California dream. Then in August in 2024, he walked into work. He got laid off that day on the spot. No warning, no severance except for his final paycheck. The company eliminated his role because they decided to acquire clients instead of licensing software. Now, what does that mean? They decided to acquire clients. Well, when you acquire clients, that means you're investing your money into marketing and sales, customer acquisition. What do I talk about a lot of the times for you to be safe within your career? What sales or what skills do you need? And I said it. I just said sales, right? A good place to be a lot of the times, if you want to make a lot of money within your career, is to be in sales, to be close to the revenue. It doesn't have to be sales. It could be anything that's touching the revenue. Well, his client, his customer, or this company that he was working for, decided that they wanted to acquire additional customers. So they said, you developers, you people who are not touching the revenue, we got to let some of you guys go. And that's what they did to Trevor. So Trevor got laid off. Here's where Trevor made his first critical mistake. He panicked, got laid off. Then he started applying to every job that he could find, hoping that something would stick. At first, he didn't tell his family that he got fired because he thought that he'd get another job by October. This is October 2024 now. You know, a lot of times we have a optimistic thought. You know what? I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to be able to get myself out of this in a short amount of time. This is August that he got laid off. Said by October, he was thinking that he was already have a job. Not sure exactly what Trevor's doing to find a job, but I'm looking at this picture of Trevor. I'm not very sure if Trevor is a ladder climber, if he's going to put in that time and effort to go out there and really find that job. But needless to say, that 22-year-old Arun that we talked about earlier in the show, this gentleman right here, he was employed at Amazon, strategically watching what Meta was doing with AI, and then he positioned himself for his next move while he had income. He was watching. He was looking for the next opportunity. He was leveling up. Trevor got fired. Trevor panicked. Trevor started applying to just about anything. So for Trevor, when he got fired, weeks passed. Then months passed. Trevor couldn't even get hired to wait tables because in LA, guess who's waiting tables a lot of the times? At restaurants. A lot of them are unemployed actors trying to make it in Hollywood. So that job market is very, very tough. So Trevor said, you know what? Man, I can't get a restaurant job. I'm going to work for Uber. So he started delivering Uber Eats and DoorDash just to pay the bills. Then a traffic ticket that he forgot about showed up. And guess what that traffic ticket cost? It caused him to be kicked off of both apps. He had a traffic ticket, didn't pay it. Uber Eats kicked him off. DoorDash kicked him off. So he can no longer do deliveries and make a little bit of side money. Now he had no income at all. I look at Trevor again and I say, yeah, he ain't a ladder climber. He's not the one that's going to go out there and hustle and bustle. He's not going to be the one that's taking care of his stuff because this man had a parking or traffic ticket that he let just go and go and go. Before you know it, it got in the way of him having some sort of employment, him driving Uber, him doing DoorDash. So by October, Trevor was living off of credit cards. Ching, 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 ching. Still going out, partying, having a good time, maxing them out just to pay the rent, buy food, hang out with his buddies. Come November 1st, he couldn't even make the minimum payments on his credit cards. Had to call his mom. Mama, Mom, I need your help. I'm in a bad situation, Mom. I got fired. Got no money. Because you know you can't tell Mom the real story. So you got to tell Mom the half truth. You got to tell Mom the good part of the story. What you've been doing. Although you haven't been doing what you were supposed to be doing. He's telling Mom. Mom says, you know what, Trevor? Since you've been unemployed for 3 months and was about to be homeless, Mom said, just come home. Come back to Ohio. Here, I'm going to send you some money so that you can at least drive your car back here to Ohio and you can live with me. I need some help around the house, Trevor. Come on back home, baby. I need some help around the house. You can help me fix up a little bit of things and rake the yard and blow the leaves, clean up the gutters. You can help me around the house doing the odds and the little small things. Trevor said, okay, I'll be there, Mom. So at 37 years old, Trevor packed up his car with his dog and his Xbox because he was playing a lot of Xbox. And he drove 3 days from LA back to Ohio to live with his parents. Listen to what Trevor said when I read through this article. Trevor said, I remember stopping in the car thinking that I cannot believe my life has unraveled this quickly. The shame that Trevor had was overwhelming. But he had no choice. He was broke. He was desperate. He was out of options. Had to call his mom at 37 years old, guys. Had to call his mom. Now, Trevor, he works at a bank in Ohio, making $43,000 a year. That's less than half of what he made when he was in California. No more family vacations. Credit cards still maxed out. He hopes to get back to LA someday, but doesn't know if that chapter is closed forever. The same man, he used to manage user experience for AI startups, is now sleeping in his childhood bedroom, working at a small town bank. Experience, guys. It don't matter if you panic and position yourself wrong. Strategic positioning while being employed matters more than years of experience when you are desperate. Trevor learned this the hard way. Now he's living with his parents at 37 years old, making $43,000 a year. That's the price of a panic position. That's the price of not doing things on the side. That's the price of not having multiple streams of income. That's the price of not networking with the right people. That's the price of it. Now, let me show you the brand new job growth, because I wanted to make sure I started this show off by talking about Trevor. And a lot of the things that we talk about on this show is we can learn from a lot of people, but also it is around how to balance, how to have multiple streams of income, how to not fall victim to a single source. And that's what Trevor did. But more importantly, how to use strategy. You had My man Arun here. Strategy. Young man, $400,000 a year. Trevor was making $100-something thousand a year. Now Trevor is living back with his mom and his parents, sleeping in the same single bed that he left when he went to college. Now he's working at a bank, making the same amount of money that a lot of high schoolers are making, or a lot of college grads are making. That's the price that you pay when you don't do things and use strategy and use things that we talk about on the show. Let's now talk about some job data. Okay? Because the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they just dropped brand new employment projections for 2024 through 2034. You know, every 10 years they have a collection of data, to do a collection of data and analysis to determine where the job growths are going to come, or the job growth is going to come, and the types of positions that they're going to be hiring for based on the economic data that they're able to compile. I challenge the Bureau of Labor Statistics a lot of the times, but it's the most collective source of data that we have when it comes down to the labor market. So I leverage it to have these kind of conversations. With this new projections from 2022 to 2024, or 2024 to 2034, excuse me, there's positions that are ranked, meaning which positions are going to have the most jobs, which new jobs are going to be coming to which kind of position. And believe it or not, Business Insider did an article on this as well. The number one job, although people are saying that this job is going away, is software developers, guys. Still, number one, software developers. 267,000 new jobs are coming over the next decade. Median pay, 133,000. This is where I want you also to, when you listen to this data, understand it, understand where it's coming from, but also think critically here, because are they trying to set you up for the okie doke? Because we've been led wrong for a very long time. We've been told to go to college and get a 4-year degree, and most people followed that, and a lot of people are unemployed, right? We've been told to go into white collar work, and you know that the types of work that's going to be eliminated at certain points in times are going to be like blue collar work, but white collar work is being, you know, devastated, right? With AI and so forth and automation. We've been told a whole bunch of stuff that just isn't true. We've been told, you know, stuff in the political world that we won't touch, but we've been told a whole bunch of stuff that just isn't true. Okay. So when you hear this information, and when I read this information, I read it and I understood it and I said I would share it, but I also am thinking critically about this, because the number one job that's still out there that is expected to grow more than any other job that's out there is software developers. 267,000 new jobs are supposed to be created from 2024 to 2034. Median pay $133,000 a year. Number two, financial managers. 128,000 new jobs will be created for financial managers over the next 10 years. Median pay $161,000, even more than software developers. Number three, on the list, computer and information systems managers. These are the bridge between technology and the business. These are the management information systems graduates. 101,000 new jobs will be created over the next 10 years. Median pay $171,000. They're making more than any other field out there. That's the median pay. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for people who can balance and who have a good understanding of the business and a good understanding of the technology. So being right there in the middle. Okay. You notice these patterns. What are you seeing here? They all are technology intertwined, technology related roles. They all are growing fast. They all are paying six figures. You got data scientists on this list. Data scientists, 82,000 new jobs that's going to be created in the next 10 years. Median pay, 112. Information security analysts, 52,000 new jobs will be created. Median pay, 125,000. Project management specialists, 58,000 new jobs will be created. 101 median salary. All these jobs that are related to technology are the ones that's paying the most. That's where a lot of the growth is at. That's the pattern that I notice. But here's what Trevor missed. And this is what a lot of people miss as well, too. These aren't just pure technical roles. These aren't roles where you just have to sit down and code the majority of the day. It's not it. Look at the list here. The list, if you go through this article, okay? The list is financial managers. That's not a technical role where you're coding all day. You have a good understanding of the finances and how to save money and investing and so forth. Project management specialists, medical and health services managers. These are bridge jobs. These are jobs that connect technology solutions with business problems. You don't need a PhD. You don't need a master's degree for a lot of these jobs. You just need to understand new technology. You need to understand how technology helps the business work better. That's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. And while our friend Trevor here, he was panic applying to traditional UX design jobs, work that AI can do automatically, the job market creating 267 software developer positions in 101,000 computer systems manager roles. You see, when you don't use the information that's out there and the data that's out there to position yourself in the right way, you end up stuck. You hear what companies are doing right now. Companies are spending billions on AI tools, but only 51% of employees actually use them. Trevor could be positioning himself to be the gap between what companies buy and what people can implement. It's worth six figures. Look at the list that we just talked about. Project management specialists, 52,000 jobs. Information security analyst jobs, 94,000 management analyst jobs, consulting, all focused on making technology work in real businesses, all growing fast because companies are desperate for people who can bridge that gap. That's what's happening. John Morris says, if you think AI layoffs is a result, you are wrong. What is it then, John? Tell us what it is, John. I would love for you to tell us what it is, because I know it's not just AI, but it is a huge part of it, John. It certainly is a huge part of it. It's not just the tools of AI. It's people leveraging AI to do multiple people's work. I did a Patreon video with a webinar with my group this past weekend, and I was showing them how I was able to eliminate the need for a script writer for my YouTube videos. I was showing them how I was able to eliminate the need for a short video creator. And you think about that, right? If I'm a business, because I am a business, and this channel is a business, I don't care what you say. People who create YouTube channels, they're a business, and their business are either Profitable or not profitable? Early on, when you create a business like on YouTube, your business is typically not profitable, okay? But if you treat it like a business, you're going to show up like it's a business. And if I'm able to eliminate 2 additional headcounts because of AI tools, right? Let's just say for each a script writer for a month, $1,000 because they work in the Philippines. And that's 5 videos a week. So that's 20 scripts for $1,000. Or let's just say I just said $3 or 3 scripts a week, right? Whatever it is, right? $1,000 a week or $1,000 a month. And then I have a shorts creator. Let's just say they do 2 shorts for me a week. So that's 8 a month. And I'm paying them $1,000 a month. I don't need those people to do that anymore. I have the AI tools that I can do the research myself. I can leverage what has worked in the past by downloading transcripts, having AI figure out the right formula of a YouTube video, and consistently create that same sort of style. So there's no more need for a script writer. So I just saved $1,000 by eliminating the script writer by using AI tools. And then let's just say I get rid of my shorts creator because I can do that myself now. So that's $2,000 a month that I am able to do it as a small business to eliminate out of my business because of AI tools, John. So I used the example of that in my Patreon live stream that I had this past weekend. Simple. I'm a small business. I have $2,000 overhead using 2 people to do a job for me. Now I'm able to do that same job in less hours myself. That's $2,000 that I'm able to save a month. Times 12 months, that's $24,000. That is my kids' tuition for them going to private school. That's a job elimination as well. So you may not say, John, that if you think just AI layoffs as a result, you are wrong. But AI plays a huge part into it, John. People leveraging AI to do work that other people can do is the reason why companies are laying off a whole bunch of people. And if it's just me in my team of, I had 5, now I have 3. Now I have 3. Just imagine companies that have hundreds of thousands of employees, 50,000 employees, 1,000 employees. This is what technology and this is what AIs can allow happen. So it's true. AI is a huge piece of it, John. You may not think it is, but it certainly is. Bob says, and thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Bob. Bob says it would be better if companies train new employees under contract that they need to work for them for some year to compensate the companies. That's a good thought. They may be a new structure with an employment one of these days, but typically companies like at-will employment because companies want to be able to do what they need to do. Otherwise, it's almost considered to be some sort of a union. And companies want that level of power. And most companies have, in most states, I got to say, it's at-will employment states where they can let you go for any reason. They can let you go because that's just what they can do. And I get it from the standpoint of a business owner. As an employee and an employer, I get it. But the biggest thing, especially when we're watching this show and I'm talking to you all within this live stream, is positioning yourself the right way. Because whether you're the owner or whether you are an employee, your goal is to do what's best for you and your family. That's how everybody looks at it. Many people may say it's about other things, but most people, they are so single focused on themselves and their family. And if you're close to them, of course, they care about you. They care about the people. But most importantly, what comes to them, what's their priority, is them and their families. Now, let me show you what companies did over this holiday weekend with these layoffs that I've been telling you guys about, because there's a lot of layoffs that's still going on, and you may not have heard of them. Okay. The holiday weekend brought some interesting news. We got layoffs that's happening. And I'm going to get this thing right eventually, guys. You got Spirit Airlines, another bankruptcy. You got over 2,000 retail and manufacturing jobs got the warn notices filed on Friday before the 3-day weekend. You got Target, you got Nordstrom, you got JCPenney's, all filing notices while many of us were just packing for barbecues. You got retail's companies like Nike, who just announced that they're laying off people. Matter of fact, I'm going to share this one with you guys right now.
All right, welcome back. Let's hit another CNBC exclusive. Retail reporter Gabby Font-Rouge has a new story right now on CNBC.com about Nike and how it is laying off some management, a story that you will only hear here. Gabby, welcome. What have you found out?
So what we found out today is that Nike is laying off less than 1% of its corporate staff. Nike has about 77,000 employees worldwide, but a lot of those people are part-time store employees, so we don't know the exact number of people that are going to be impacted. But this isn't so much of a cost-cutting, restructuring thing. This is more about CEO Elliott Hill's efforts to realign the business. You know, you have to kind of take a step back to understand how we got here. Under the former CEO, Nike changed the way that it aligned its business. Instead of going from tennis and running and basketball, it aligned it to women's, men's, and kids. And now Elliott Hill is trying to undo a lot of that work. And so they're realigning from women's, mids, and kids into more of a sport focus. That means the teams are going to be realigned and some cuts are going to happen along the way.
So basically shifting divisions, but that's still going to be cold comfort for the folks, because I know 1% doesn't sound like a lot of people, but if you're a company Nike's size, it's for those people, it's a big deal.
Absolutely. It's always going to be a big deal. And you have to also think about where we have come, right? In February of 2024, Nike laid off about 1,500 employees. And a lot of these staffers are feeling a little bit of whiplash, right? You had one CEO in, one CEO out, a new one in, a new strategy. And one of the things, you know, beyond all of the other things that Elliott is working on, he also has to fix the culture.
Which is tough to do.
You heard it. That's Nike. Nike just went and laid off about 1% of their corporate staff. There's been people on LinkedIn that's talking about it. A lot of people are saying, you know, that's what they needed to do because Nike is losing a lot of market share. They're losing a lot of people wearing Nikes. You think about it. I don't wear Nikes as much as I used to. For my basketball shoes, I wear Dwayne Wade's private label. Actually Chinese, Li Ning. A lot of people, for their running shoes, they wear those QCs or whatever those shoes are, the ones with the big soles on them. Now, you got the younger generation, the Gen Zs and so forth, they're wearing a lot of Nikes. But there's so much competition out there. And a lot of it is because of decisions that's made at the executive levels. So Nike is going through a restructuring right now where there's people that's being laid off. And that 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but 1% of 100,000 employees, or let's just say 80,000 employees, it's still a significant number. And when you are someone who experiences that, it's a tough situation for you no matter what. And if you're like Trevor, who panics, which I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people that's doing right now. If you go on LinkedIn, you'll probably see a whole bunch of people talking about this layoff and how they were impacted. If you know anybody, they should be watching the show to learn the strategy so that they can come out ahead, right? Or position themselves to have success. However, it's still tough when that happens to you. We have another one over here. Retail. Check this one out.
With breaking news.
Yeah, and that breaking news, one of Cincinnati's biggest employers is cutting nearly 1,000 jobs, hundreds of them here locally. Thanks for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Cherie Palello.
And I'm Ashley Kirkland. We're talking about Kroger, and the company is shedding workers in a push to simplify operations and also ramp up the grocery giant's focus on lower prices and new stores. WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes is live with more. Todd?
Yeah, Ashley and Cherie, this is surely a difficult day for around 200 families of local Kroger workers who found out that their efforts are no longer needed. Those disappearing jobs, all part of a company-wide round of layoffs, involving nearly 1,000 job cuts across the country. Kroger's interim CEO, Ron Sargent, describing the cuts as a meaningful number of associate reductions, adding these decisions are never easy, but we know thoughtful yet difficult choices are necessary to set up our organization for continued success. That quote goes on to say, while we announced role reductions today, we continue to grow and reinvest those savings in areas that drive our strategy and benefit our customers directly, in lower prices, new store growth, and more jobs in stores. It's not clear at this point which divisions are going to see these cuts. It does appear that today's announcement was not necessarily being fueled by artificial intelligence. That's what a lot of people jump to these days. It seems to have been driven more, or at least in part, by what had been a boost in hiring during the COVID-19 pandemic, and also the addition of workers ahead of what turned out to be Kroger's failed merger with competing grocery chain Albertsons.
They brought up the AI situation again, right? They used the overhiring of 2021, the COVID hiring. Guys, we are 4 years past that. We are 4 years past that. They're still using it. A lot of it is still artificial intelligence, guys, at the end of the day. If I'm able to reduce headcount of my small business by 2, yeah, that's what companies are going to do as well, too. Position yourself to be the one that's leveraging the tools so that you can keep your job, so that you can do more, so that you can start your own side business, so that you can make more. Position yourself to be the employer or the employee at your employer or for your employer that leverages AI to help other people to use it. That's where the money is. And here's the thing, these layoffs, it's not just the big corporations. It's not it's not just Nike and Kroger. You're talking about small businesses. This is happening too. Check this one out.
This letter dated August 26, emailed to a Smitty's employee, was apparently sent to most of the roughly 450 people who worked at the oil and lubricant plant. The letter, obtained by our partners at WBRZ, states that, quote, at this time, you should consider your layoff to be permanent. With the future uncertain, no Smitty's employee who is being laid off should expect to be recalled. The letter goes on to state that, quote, almost all employees are being laid off. The letter goes on to say that the layoffs were immediate as of this past Saturday, and that employees would only be paid for unused vacation time.
It is August the 23rd. That letter came out. That was last week, guys. That was literally last week. Even small companies like Smitty Supply cutting workers. I mean, this is a pattern that's happening just about everywhere in every industry now. Companies preparing for economic uncertainty by reducing headcount. Companies leveraging artificial intelligence to reduce headcount. I mean, here's the economic reality that explains why Trevor couldn't find work and why strategic positioning matters more than ever. I came across this article on the Business Insider, or in Business Insider, this past weekend. It was written August the 31st, so it was actually yesterday. Economists now warn about something called stall speed. And it is a new term that's maybe not new, but a term that they are using that's defined by when job creation gets so slow, it creates a vicious feedback loop that makes unemployment worse. So when people get nervous, they spend less. Companies see less spending, so they lay off more people. Those people spend even less, and the cycle reinforces itself. So economists are now predicting that unemployment could spike from 4.2% to 6% and stay elevated for about a year. And this number just backs it up. July. You remember the July job reports. July only added 73,000 jobs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics chief was fired by Trump because of the number revisions. May and June got revised down by 258,000 jobs. That means the economy added 258,000 fewer jobs than originally reported. I'm like, these layoffs, they're telling a story. The data is telling us a story. But here's the thing. While companies are laying people off and hitting stall speed, other companies are still paying insane amounts of money for people with AI skills. I came across this article on Business Insider on yesterday because I was going through my studies to figure out what I was going to talk about this morning. And TikTok just revealed their salary data through federal visa filings. And what I found out was that the numbers that they're paying people are absolutely insane. So we talked about my man Arun, who left Amazon to go to Meta, and he's making $400,000 a year. Well, TikTok is paying search and recommendation product leaders $540,000 a year, guys. Search ads, product managers, $564,000. Senior machine learning engineers, $386,000. Global e-commerce solutions managers, $480,000. AI product managers, they're getting paid $300,000. AI security researchers, $340,000. Senior machine learning engineers, $320,000. Software engineers with machine learning, $270,000 to $320,000. A lot of these roles are heavily technical, but a lot of these roles have nothing to do with coding. These are literally business roles for people who understand how AI helps companies make money. See what's happening here? We talked about there being two separate job markets that's out there now. One where Nike and Kroger is laying people off, even when they're crazy profitable and the business is doing okay. And one for AI skills where companies are throwing around $500,000+ salaries. Trevor, our man here, he competed in the layoff market. What smart people do, though, is they position themselves in the AI growth market. I mean, the man was technical. He could have easily positioned himself to be in the AI market, where he could have been earning a whole bunch more money working for a company in LA or the Bay Area, because there's startups that are being created every single day. You see the roles that TikTok are hiring people for? I mean, these are the roles. Product manager, search ads, $205,000. Product manager, TikTok search, $287,000. Strategy manager, e-commerce, $228,000 to $230,000. I mean, these roles are strategy or business strategy roles. Companies today, they need people who understand how AI creates business value, not people who are talking about neural networks and that sort of stuff. They need the bridge between the technology and the business. People who really understand how this new technology, and we're calling it new from the standpoint of a business, how this new technology can impact my business. And if you can figure out a way how you can do that, guarantee you will be able to get a promotion this year. If you can figure out how you can help your company save additional money or grow revenue, guarantee you will get a significant bonus this year. That's what they're looking for. Now, you may not understand the impact that that's going to cause, because that's probably going to cause people to lose their job. But it's creating value. Now, what I want to do here is I want to talk about the strategic positioning, because I talked about how Trevor, he went from, working at a LA startup to moving in with his parents' house at 37 years old. 15 years of experience, too. Man had big dreams. Now he's living in his parents' basement, childhood home. Well, how can you strategically position yourself so you don't end up like Trevor? That's what we're going to be talking about next. Let's talk about some of the moves that we can make. And you should do these while you're still employed. You can position yourself better than 99% of the people who wait till they're desperate like Trevor. Do not wait on any of this stuff. Be smart like my man Arun. Research the growth roles using the fresh Bureau of Labor Statistics data. So what we talked about today were a number of jobs from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? If you don't know how to do that, I'm like, seriously? I have my screen open, but I can literally open up a browser, type in bls.gov, right? And get a bad website. All right. But go to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and you have data and tools here. And you have so much information that's on here where you can look at job reports, publications, and all this information is out here. And it's literally going to tell you exactly which jobs are in demand, are going to be in demand over the next 10 years. If you're looking to position yourself in the right direction, this is how you do it. Go and look at this data. Find one of those roles that you have an interest in that you can potentially do, but it should be a growth role. I'm not telling you to go out there and be a software developer or anything like that. Where many of us fit is in the intersection of technology and the business, because we've been doing the business side for a very long time. Some of us been doing the technology side, but many of us fit as the bridge between that. Many of us use the technology every single day. We use smartphones, TikTok, whatever it is. We're technology savvy. Position yourself in a bridge role. No more pure technical roles. I mean, like, you can do that if that's your thing, but this is how you get ahead. I mean, you think about the TikTok salaries. Product managers, they're making $287,000 all the way up to $564,000. You got strategy managers making $228,000 to $230,000. I mean, all these roles that we talked about connects AI technology with business results. So that's your second move, right? Is move one, do the research, figure out where it is that you want to ultimately be. Move two is begin to position yourself. Move three, make sure you start to leverage your LinkedIn strategically. I'm like, they are looking for AI people because they can't find them. And a place where many of the recruiters go to is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is your advertisement for the things that you're doing. And you can strategically update your LinkedIn so that you can start getting views as the AI solution person for your company, for other companies as well too. And your move forward is to start applying to other roles. Get yourself out there. If that's what you have an interest in. And like I tell you like this, don't wait till you need a situation like Trevor did. Put yourself out there. You may not even have to look for or need a job, but it's just getting yourself out there, getting those reps, talking to people, building that network. Those are all the things that you do when you're actively looking. And you run across some really good people when you're doing that. Move number 5, just like I had the conversation with my patrons on Saturday, use AI tools daily while you are still employed. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. I was sharing with my Patreon group this past weekend all the AI tools that I use. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini. My company gives us U.com. U.com is really good. I don't use it as much as I use the others. But U.com is really good too. I mean, I pay probably about a little over $400 a month for AI subscriptions. So my $2,000 reduction in staff, I pay $400 a month for my AI tools. I'm still netting $1,600 a month just by having AI tools. Move number 6, you got to be strategic about networking with people. Get out there and put yourself out there in growth communities in whatever industry that you're in. Join groups, put content out there. And that's the piece of it that I really think that's important that many people do not leverage is you got to market yourself. You really do. I mean, like this platform right here is marketing. This platform right here is not only just educational, but is also marketing as well. This platform is helping me to reinforce my learning on the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, but it's also a business. So when you create content, people are going to notice you to be an expert in your particular field, which is therefore going to allow for them to seek you out for opportunities. So whether you're joining a group, whether you are putting LinkedIn content out there, putting YouTube content, TikTok content, whatever it is, you need a network. Move number 7, and I talk about this because Brother Kamal is in here as well, is when you get to the bag or if you are making money and you live in a high cost state, and if you're not tied down to that state or city, consider going to a place that's a lower cost of living, especially if you work remote. My TikTok paying $564,000 for search managers. If you live out there in California, I mean, like 40% of that is taxed heavily. So that $500,000 is almost chopped in half. But if you live in a place like Dallas or a place like Austin or a place like San Antonio, that $564,000 is going to go very, very far. Move number 8, we all understand how much healthcare is an industry that needs help, especially in the United States. But healthcare technology is big. There's many startups that are being created right now. You can be the bridge for those. Supply chain companies, you can be the bridge for those. I mean, like when you look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, if you go through that research, you'll see that 166,000 new registered nurse jobs will be created between 2024 and 2034. 142,000 medical and health services managers will be created from that time. So healthcare, they desperately need people who understand both healthcare and technology. That could be your spot. I mean, like, you also have working for the government. So federal contracting in your area. There's going to be a massive amount of layoffs in the federal government, meaning they're going to lay a whole bunch of people off, but they're going to hire a bunch more people. Position yourself to help companies navigate that opportunity while you still got income and you still have leverage. I mean, there's 300,000 government workers that's probably going to be laid off between now and December 25. December 25 as in Christmas. There's going to be quite a bit of federal employees that's going to be laid off. Well, you can be the bridge to help some of those people out as well. Move number 10, create an exit plan, a strategic one though. Where you want to be in 6 months? What do you want to be doing in 6 months? What skills do you need? What companies do you want to target? Do this while you have leverage and income. Don't do it when you are in a panic, like Trevor. I mean, strategic people, they take action while they are employed. They watch the economic trends. They see the warnings of stall speed coming out from economists saying how unemployment can jump up to 6%. Smart people, ladder climbers who watch this show, we position ourselves to grow according to the areas that are growing. There's opportunity that's there. And amongst all this chaos, you position yourself to win. One of the things about Trevor is he waited too long. Trevor wasn't proactive. Trevor waited till he got laid off during stall speed conditions. By then, he had no leverage, no options, no time to be strategic. And what happens when you don't have any time to be strategic? Well, what happens is you are forced to take just about anything. And then he didn't go and pay his tickets because he was irresponsible or whatever the situation may have been. Now he can't even drive Uber and DoorDash. I mean, that would have at least given him a couple more months if he was able to do that full time. It wasn't like Trevor had kids. It wasn't like he had a family. So it's really about strategy. And then remember this, what we learned from Nike and Kroger and all these other layoff videos. Even significant profitable companies, they go through reorganizations because of new leadership. And the same sort of economic uncertainty exists in these companies as well, too. And it doesn't mean a lot of the times that you are a bad employee or an employee who's not getting your work done. What it means sometimes is that you just may be caught in the crosshairs of something else that happened. It's happened to a lot of people. Good people have been laid off from Google and Microsoft, and some of the top people have been laid off during their most recent reorganizations. Sometimes it's just not about your performance and how good of an employee you are. Sometimes you're just a number. But most importantly, you just need to position yourself to be able to bounce back quickly. Position yourself now while you got income and you have options. That's the way you go about doing it. But here's the story today is about strategy. What we learned today is that Nike and Kroger and other companies are still laying people off when they are doing pretty good. We know that AI is here to stay, and AI is causing a good portion of this. And even though companies aren't going to say that's the reason, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. You have to really read between the lines. We also hear that over 2,000 employees gotten warned notices filed on Friday. So there's going to be a lot more layoffs. But also one of the things that I want you to remember too is the month of September, especially for people who are looking to make a move. The month of September is the month where a lot of companies do the most hiring. I mean, statistically speaking, it is the month that has the highest people joining companies. This year may be a little bit different, but traditionally September is the month where, you got people getting ready for their Q4. You have people back to school. You have people back into the office. They're reset. They're ready to kick off and crush the rest of the year. So September is typically a busy hiring month for people to end the year off in a good note. But you also heard in the live stream today that companies like TikTok are paying significant salaries for people who are sitting between technology and the business. And companies are desperate for people who can bridge AI in businesses, even while others are cutting jobs. And one other thing that you learn is that BLS is www.bls.gov. It's a good site. Bureau of Labor Statistics. It shows exactly where to position yourself strategically. In software development was leading, but I would have you just question that because it's not the route for everyone. And not only that, we've been lied to many times before. So think of this data and insight that you get, just view it with a critical eye. I would not tell anybody that that's where they should be looking to go into is software development. I would say that's a good path, but make sure that you're balancing that education with business value, because where you ultimately want to be is in the center. Guys, fantastic show. Ant Dog's in the house. MJ Cannabis is in the house. CBC Boxing is in the house. It said New Balance. Yeah, that's another one of the companies that are crushing it right now as well, too, and getting people and taking market share away from Nike. New Balance is doing pretty darn good. New Balance was hot when I was growing up. I'm old, though, guys. Super old. Life of Cam's in the house. NC Workers in the house. Jaquez is in the house. She is in the house. She said Grand Rising. Trisha says Grand Rising. Lakshmi says Grand Rising. Guys, fantastic show today. It is Labor Day. It is 8:04. I'm off work, but you know me, I'm working. And tomorrow, I want to share a video with you all because we're talking about a lot of the white collar work right now. There's a significant, matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to share one more video with you all. I think this is important because I think you need to position yourself where the money is. And I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you that, matter of fact, I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to show you. Check this out.
The demand for artificial intelligence has sparked a boom in the construction of data centers all over the country. These facilities house computer systems to collect, process, and store huge amounts of information. Skilled tradespeople, those who use wrenches, screwdrivers, and pliers, are needed to build these high-tech centers and keep them running. But there aren't enough of them. Here's Mark Strassman with tonight's Eye on America.
Brandon Fry feels squeezed by two businesses trending in opposite directions. Data centers such as this one he manages outside Chicago hum along with soaring demand.
Everything in here needs servicing. Everything in here needs service. Tech support, HVAC support, electricians.
But the supply of technical support he needs available 24/7 keeps shrinking.
What your customers don't want to hear is we can't find somebody for that. That's the last thing they want to hear, and that will be the last conversation we likely have with them as a customer.
You heard that. Data centers are going up everywhere. To operate these data centers, we need skilled plumbers, HVAC, electricians, there's not that many of them out there. They're going to continue to invest into the infrastructure of this technology over the next XYZ years. The infrastructure are the roads that we drive on today. The next boom, in my opinion, is going to be the software, the creativeness of the software. But if you heard what was just said, we need HVAC. We need electricians. We need plumbers. We need all of these individuals to help with this infrastructure. We also need technical people who can perform the maintenance on these servers and so forth. And they don't have enough. So if you're in this space, this is where you should be positioning yourself as well, too. But let them continue on real quick.
Data centers now compete with factories and manufacturing plants for electricians and plumbers. As older blue-collar workers retire, younger people look at college and white-collar jobs.
It's a growing labor crisis. Roughly 400,000 skilled trade jobs are unfilled in America. By 2033, it's estimated that number could hit close to 2 million.
You got to be able to do more with less.
Matt Breslin, an executive for a software company called IFS, says new technology is one solution.
And you can see this is changing dynamically.
His company sells this program that helps companies route and reroute their fleet of technicians.
You can take things like weather, traffic, different priorities, and add that on top. When you think about the labor shortages that are out there and you want to create more efficiencies and do more with less, this is how that's going to happen.
Back at the data center, Dan Brown knows there's a labor crisis.
We're always looking for good people to hire.
But doesn't understand it. He told us in Chicago, experienced HVAC technicians make more than $150,000 without student debt.
All right. We'll get into this a little bit more tomorrow. But you heard it. It is a good path to go down, especially now where there being a huge shortage of these individuals. Think about yourself if you were to start a business where you were to help these guys get employed, or you were to help train these individuals, or you were to just invest into companies that do this sort of work. That's where the next boom is happening. And a lot of these are small businesses that older folks are trying to get away from. That's where the money is. That is where the opportunity is. And it's just not the white collar work. It's the blue collar. It's people who support the infrastructure. That's where the money is, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Fatamos says, first show I've seen today. Great. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like button as well, too. We appreciate you joining the show today. And guys, go and have a good rest of your Labor Day. Thank you so much for all your support. And we will see you tomorrow bright and early, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central. Peace, love,